So before we get started, I would like to acknowledge that we are situated on the ancestral, unceded, and traditional land of the Hunkaminam-speaking Musqueam people. And so this is a land acknowledgement that we give at every meaningful event at UBC. And as we have an international audience from people all over the world, I would also like to acknowledge that some of you are joining us from many places near and far, and also acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands, and even encourage you to reflect on what it really means for you to be on the land that you are on today. We would like to know where you're joining us from. So if you could annotate on this map where home is for you or where you're joining us from, so we can see the international audience that we have joining us here today. Look at that, we have some people joining us from Canada. I'm actually in Ontario right now, so I'm joining us from Ontario. We have some East Coast, some West Coast, so exciting. Wonderful. Well, welcome everyone. We're really excited to have you. And I'll just clear all the drawings. Perfect. And with that, we can just jump right into our session. So as I mentioned, I'm joined here by Oceana and Yolanda, who are my two colleagues, and we will be presenting today's session. And so an overview of the session, we're going to be diving into our majors. So this is the applied biology major. There are two main there are two main majors under it. Then we'll be sharing a little bit about our different student experiences from student speakers, so you don't have to take our word for it. You'll have people who have truly experienced it. Then we'll jump into resources and supports, and then finally, different career options that you have within the applied biology program and where you can take your degree. So what is the applied biology program? The applied biology program is a Bachelor in Science that really has what we call real world application of life sciences and management of soil, plants, animal, and food production, but it really goes beyond that. It's a very interdisciplinary program that we have here in the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. What's really great about it is you can integrate all the different technical knowledge that you learn along with sustainability and ethics. So what that can look like is you can take courses in sustainable agriculture, or you can take courses in animal welfare and ethics, for example, and these are just a couple examples. And you can take those courses being in either of the applied biology programs that are offered. You're not limited into just one by being in one program or the other. You also have a really great opportunity for critical thinking and practical involvement in system approach. So an example would be actually me just being in applied animal biology. You'd think that I'm limited to applied animal biology, but I'm actually working in a biomedical engineering lab. And so that just goes to show that you can take your degree into other disciplines as well. And of course, we do address real world problems, which is really great because you can very much see how your program and what you're learning in class applies to the real world in problems that are pertaining to Vancouver or even globally.
As Afnan said earlier, it's a Bachelor of Science program. In your first year, you kind of just start in the applied biology program. You don't have to choose a major until your second year. One really great thing about this is that both majors have the same first year prerequisites. So no matter what you want to do, you don't really have to decide until your second year. Once in your second year, as you can see on this diagram, there's two white bubbles saying sustainable agriculture and environment and applied animal biology. Some careers that you can go into with both of these for applied animal biology is veterinary school, medical school, wildlife rehabilitation, farm managing, and field biology. Then with sustainable agriculture and environment, there's like biometeorology, natural resource planning, ecology, seed production, ecology, and biodiversity specialties. So both very neat things, which look like some of the interests that I saw on the last slide. And if you're really passionate about these things and are considering graduate school, there's also an honors program that you can apply at the end of your second year. Now, this is a competitive program, hence why it's kind of in like this orangey color. And you usually apply using a letter, and of course you have to have certain prerequisites. But this program is really great if you want to go into graduate school. And in the program, you get to work with a supervisor and end up writing your own thesis and doing some hands-on research. And of course, if you don't like any of these things and you realize that in like your first year, you can always transfer programs into other disciplines. So looking at sustainable agriculture and environment major, This major is based on soil, plant, and agricultural sciences for the sustainability of agricultural production, along with the conservation of the environment. It addresses real-world issues like food security, sustainability, and agro-ecosystem management. There are plenty of hands-on opportunities, including field and research experience. As you can see in the little apple photo, we have some students working on the UBC farm, which is a really cool opportunity that not a lot of other programs offer. So students taking this program can also be eligible for professional designations such as professional biology and professional agroecologist. Moving on to the applied animal biology major, this is based on learning about animals. It focuses specifically on animals in the farm and wild environments, along with companion and lab animals. So you get to look at animals from a lot of different perspectives. It will, of course, address real-world issues on animal welfare, ethics, and roles of animals in society. It also has tons of hands-on experiences, including field and research opportunities. Looking in our little egg photo, you can see the UBC farm with the chickens, which is a place that you could potentially do a practicum at and work with the animals there. And this program is really great for preparing for graduate studies, veterinary school, and more.
Speaking of sustainable agriculture, I would like to shout out to an amazing professor in the APBI program. So in LFS and the APBI program, we have amazing professors that are dedicated to helping students succeed. And one of those is Dr. Sandra Brown, who's an associate professor of teaching in LFS, who has recently been selected as this year's LFS recipient of the UBC Killam Teaching Prize. And this honorable award recognizes her achievements as an outstanding instructor, a sustained teaching excellence, her ability to motivate students and stimulate critical thinking, her development of innovative approaches to teaching methodology, and her contribution to curricular development in applied biology. You can meet Dr. Sandra Brown in some courses such as APBI 200, which is Introduction to Soil Science, and APBI 402, which is Sustainable Management. Just to mention a few, she teaches a wide range of courses. She's very passionate about impacts on soil and water resources, as well as complementary teaching approaches in soil science education. So if you meet her or pass by her, say hi and ask her anything about soil or her experience. She's a lovely person who loves chatting with students. So please also check out her Soil is Not Dirt video, which is on YouTube, and we're just going to put it in the chat so that you guys can watch it when you're free, and look forward to meeting with her or taking her classes this coming fall. Including the amazing programs that we have and amazing professors that we have, we also have involvement opportunities, a wide range of involvement opportunities to enrich your experience as you study whether applied animal biology or sustainable agriculture and environment, depending on your interests. If you're interested in research, there are research opportunities at the UBC farm. There are labs such as the soil science lab that you can lab that you can volunteer with and get that research experience. Or if you are interested in animal, I saw a lot of people are interested in animal biology. We also have practicums that are for, you can work at the, for example, BCSPCA and get credit for that. So there's a wide range of involvement opportunities to advance your interest and for you to get involved as you enrich your studies within APBI. So I would like to pass it on to Cici, who just completed her second year in the Sustainable Agriculture and Environment major, to just share more about her involvement experiences at UBC.
Everyone. So my name is Cici. My pronouns are she, her. I'm in my second year in Sustainable Agriculture and Environment, as Yolanda said. And my hometown is Richmond Hill, Ontario. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like just slightly north of Toronto, if that rings a bell. And I've been involved with LFS as a peer assisted study session leader. So what this is I basically lead these group study sessions for first year courses that are traditionally more difficult than other courses. And so I just wanted to talk about my two favorite experiences as an LFS student. And one of them is actually related to Sandra Brown, who we were just talking about, Dr. Sandra Brown. So APBI 200, the soil science course that Yolanda mentioned, is actually my favorite course that I have taken so far at UBC. And the highlight of that course was when, for one of the labs, we actually got to go out to the UBC farm, and they had these like big soil pits dug up, ready for us to like go in and like do a bunch of tests. We had to like hand texture the soil. We had to like measure the different horizons of the soil to see, try and classify the soil. And it was just so fun getting to actually physically get into the pit and like figure things out for myself. And that moment, it was like a bright sunny day, the sun was shining, and I was like, wow, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So yeah, that was one of the best experiences I've had in just that course in general. It's really well taught, everything's really interesting, and everything you learn feels really applicable to what's going on around the world. And then a second highlight of my time here at UBC is there's this cafe called Agora Cafe in the basement of this building called the Macmillan Building, which is where a lot of LFS courses take place, where a lot of LFS offices are. And the reason I love this cafe is because it's actually a nonprofit student-run, volunteer-run cafe, and it really focuses on food security. So making sure that every student at UBC has access to affordable, easily affordable food. And I've just met the most amazing people there, and it's just so fun volunteering there. It's a really nice environment. Everyone's so friendly. Everyone's really passionate about what they do. And you really feel that LFS is a community because we're so much smaller than a lot of the other faculties. And you really get to experience that as a volunteer at Agora. And even though I've only been volunteering there for like 3 weeks-ish, because it just opened after COVID and had to close again because it's the summer now and there's no student volunteers because it's the summer and everyone's gone home. But it's just those 3 weeks have been such an amazing experience, getting to meet so many people, especially the general manager. His name is Cody, and he's just doing a great job of like running the cafe and making sure everything is great. And so those are some of my two favorite experiences in LFS, and I hope that helps you with your decision a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sissy, for sharing your experiences. It's always wonderful to hear different students share their amazing experiences, like the wide range of opportunities that are there, and each student has different experiences within LFS that are absolutely wonderful. Now, as we have shared the different majors within the Applied Animal Biology program and the different involvement opportunities that are there, and how amazing our professors are. Many of you will be studying first year in a couple of months. You might be having a lot of feelings around that. So we're just curious, what are you nervous about coming to LFS? If you could like put that in the chat, is there anything that makes you nervous about studying your first year studies or coming to university? Some of you may be international students, some of you may be moving from another state, another country. So it's a lot of like adjustments that comes with it when coming to university. So just thinking about that, if you have anything that comes to mind that you're nervous about, drop it in the chat. As a faculty, as LFS, and as the APBI program, we are aware that students may have like different challenges and support is needed in that. So I'll pass it on to Megan, who just completed a 4th year in applied animal biology, and who has had amazing opportunities as in the LFS US and as orientation leader to just share some of the support resources that she has been able to use as she studies in APBI and LFS.
So hi everyone, I'd like to start off by saying welcome, and I hope you've been enjoying this session and get to learn a little bit more about this program. So my name is Megan and my pronouns are she, her. My hometown is Vancouver and I'm an incoming 5th year in applied animal biology. And I'm also minoring in psychology, which is in the Faculty of Arts. I'm actually a transfer student from science where I spent my first year in, and I really felt drawn to the tight-knit community of LFS and how specialized applied animal biology is. So a close friend encouraged me to transfer in. And this is one of the best decisions that I have made. So as mentioned on my slide, I love animal welfare, behavior, and sheltering, and I've taken courses in all of these fields. And outside of school, I'll just touch on the 2 leadership roles that Yolanda mentioned. So the first is Lfs US, which is the Land and Food Systems Undergraduate Society. So maybe in your high school, you've had like a student council, and that's basically what we are. And I've also been an orientation leader, which is in the fall. I might be seeing some of you there in a couple of months. And basically the first day of class, there's all classes are canceled, and you just get to have a tour of the campus and learn a little bit more about LFS. So I led a group of first-year students, and I will be doing that again in the fall. So I would like to talk about a resource that really benefited me this year, and it's the Lfs Mentorship Program. I'll just paste a link here in the chat. So basically, as an overview, upper year students are paired with lower year students, and then paired with a couple of mentors from the field that you're in. And you have access to career-related resources as well. So as an introvert, this free, really low commitment mostly online program just really helped me become more comfortable sending reach out emails and doing informational interviews with LFS alumni. So a little bit about my experience is that I was paired up with a grad student as my main mentor, and I got to have a tour of her animal welfare program office. And in the meantime, she was able to answer some of my questions about grad school, which got me thinking more about applying to do a master's here in UBC in the future. So overall, I got to network with a variety of students, both in and outside my assigned group, and a variety of mentors who gave me both short-term and long-term career advice. And because of this, I feel more confident navigating my career journey after this opportunity. So in the Q&A portion at the end of this event, feel free to ask me about applied animal biology, psychology, cats, or LFS Undergraduate Society, and LFS orientations, as well as the mentorship program that I just mentioned. And I'll pass it back to Yolanda.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. It's wonderful how, as mentioned by Megan, the Lfs Mentorship Program, which is truly unique to LFS, and it allows you to, shows how we're committed to, the faculty is committed to supporting students both in academic success and in finding career, developing career goals. Screen again. So some of the support resources that were mentioned, Cici mentioned the peer-assisted study sessions, which are absolutely awesome. We also have UBC resources that are available, such as the UBC Wellness Center, UBC Learning Commons, UBC Keep Learning. These are all, and UBC Center for Accessibility, these are all help in supporting students in their health, in mental health, in academic success in learning. So you can always reach out and learn more and get help whenever you need. We also have an Lfs Embedded Counselor, which is you can connect with her and like chat about, and you can be helped in like in any challenges or mental health challenges you may be facing in order to help you succeed as you study. And the Lfs Student Services, you should always connect there. Always, the office is always open. You can always go and get help in your academics and designing your degree program. I'll pass it on to Afnan to share to talk more about our APBI program advisor.
Thanks, Yolanda. So actually joining us on this call today, we have Dan, who is our Applied Biology Program Advisor. And so Dan does a couple of different things, but basically his job is to support applied biology students, specifically applied biology students within the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. So if you're ever wondering what courses that you should be taking or what careers you should look into, if you're interested in doing a directed studies, which essentially is a form of a course where you have the opportunity to essentially do research with a professor or participate in a professor's research. If you're interested in doing practicums, which is something that the Applied Biology program offers, we have different practicums for credits. So basically you do kind of like an internship where you get that experience, but it functions as a course. So it is added to your credits in fulfilling your undergraduate degree. If you're interested in doing an essay or a thesis, for example, in applied biology. So you have the option in your undergraduate degree to do an undergraduate thesis, which is usually related to research. If you're wondering what electives you should be taking, all those different things, Dan would be your first step of and first point of contact. And then he's able to refer you to other resources as he sees fit. So really he's there to support you during your time in applied biology and help you navigate your way through your degree. And if you're ever wondering like, what are the next steps I should be taking? Well, the first step you should be taking is going to Dan to help you figure out what next steps you should be taking. And he's really an invaluable support that we have here in our faculty. And if you have any questions specifically about career paths or about courses or anything like that, Dan, as I mentioned, is with us on the call today, so you can feel free to ask him during the Q&A session at the end as well. And I'll pass it back to Yolanda.
Thanks, Afnan. I was just looking at the chat and we got a couple of comments about when I asked Ellie about what you're nervous about coming to LFS and like studying your first year. Some comments about the pressure of the first year, of the workload in first year would be so new, and how to choose a planned courses and transfer credits and all that. So these are very important and very valid concerns. And we have the support in Dan as the APBI program advisor who can help you in designing your degree towards what you're interested in and finding your interest, as well as the student and services academic advisors can also help you as you start your first year in finding resources that can be helpful in making that a lot easier and easing that workload. And also, as mentioned, other resources previously, the peer-assisted study sessions, when you feel that studying alone is quite difficult, there are a lot of peers you can study with that can help you navigate that and get through the first year and second year science requirements. Now, moving on, usually when we start, when you come to university, each of us have an idea or might not have an idea of what we're interested in after graduation, which is absolutely okay. So we are all at like different levels, and as we go through our career journeys, our academic journeys. And I just look at a quick question, if any of you have an idea of what you're interested in doing after your degree, please pop it in the chat. So as the applied animal biology major and the sustainable agriculture and environment major have a wide range of opportunities that you can explore after graduation. So please put that in the chat if you have anything that you're interested in. If you're like, I'm set, I'm going to, I saw earlier others were into going to veterinary medicine. Yes, veterinary school, awesome. Veterinary tech assistant, that is absolutely awesome. And the applied animal biology program in LFS really helps you in creating that firm foundation as you pursue studies afterwards. We have multiple students who are pursuing veterinary medicine and who are now also practicing veterinary veterinarians. So it's a great pathway into veterinary medicine. Talking about careers and thinking about life after graduation, we have a very awesome guest with us today. Andrea is an alumni from Lfs. She studied applied animal biology and is currently the senior manager of common services at Connective. She moved from Ontario to UBC with dreams of becoming a vet. But by her second year, she decided that vet school wasn't the path for her. So she focused on gaining many administration and organizational skills, and which she can apply to animal advocacy causes. So we have Andrea on call right now, and I would like for you, Andrea, to share more about like your career journey, how you landed in being a senior manager at the present moment.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I guess an overview of my journey is that when I was in LFS and when I was a part of many of the programs, I loved the courses. I really fell in love with the technical aspect. I knew I wanted to do animals, and I saw a lot of people too, like that was like in high school, like animals was it. And then that's kind of, it's such a broad topic and it's great to have a passion to be working towards, which is exactly what I was doing. And then, yeah, like Yolanda said, I was in a class and had a bit of an aha moment that being a vet wasn't going to sustain me. Also, to become a vet, if you were on that track, you have to do a lot of volunteering in vet offices. So you get a good idea of what your day-to-day will be like every day. And I decided that I wanted something a bit different. I'm more passionate about advocacy and animal welfare. So I shifted a little bit. I used a lot of the skills that I learned in my classes, which reflecting back when you're in them, and I'm sure the students that are the current students that are on this call know that they're the painful ones. And that is kind of the point. I learned how to work in a team, and as much as we all hate group work when it doesn't go well, it's what everyday life as a professional is. I learned how to think holistically, and systems thinking at LFS, I think, is unparalleled to any other faculty. You are forced to learn about different aspects of one problem and more holistically, and I use that in every day of my life at my professional job currently. I learned how to present in front of a class and be totally confident in it, because you do a lot of that in a lot of the classes we did a lot of debating. I learned how to learn content I didn't want to, which, you know, again, sounds painful, and it was. Calc is probably still my nemesis, but I got through it and I'm so proud of myself. Probably my proudest moment ever is getting a 62 in my calc final. Like, I was over the moon. So you need to go through those experiences to learn how to learn content that isn't easy and it isn't fun all of the time, but I now can go into a situation and be prepared for what I'm going to learn as the outcome. And I see sometimes my peers, like, I think I've been fairly successful in my career so far, and I hope to continue that journey. And a lot of that is the grit and, like, you know, sitting down and getting through something. And some people just don't have that. And I think the skills that I learned in LFS, like, I mean, I'm making it sound really horrible. It wasn't. Like, I got through a lot, and it was content that I loved, which when you're passionate about animals, it makes it so worth it. Like, every day, I remember walking home from the bus with my peers that are in like just like regular bio, and I was in animal bio, and just like the passion was oozing out of me, or they were like, oh, I looked at some cells today, and I'm like, animals and systems and welfare, and like, it's just a different feel, and I loved it. I loved every minute of my last 2 years, especially when the classes get more focused on animals. And then where my career is now, so like Yolanda said, I had that aha moment where I want to work in advocacy. But when you graduate from university, I realized I didn't really have much to offer. Like, yeah, I might, you know a lot from the classes that I had, but when you look at something like the BCSPCA or any other not-for-profits that I wanted to work for, I didn't really know anything yet. And so I decided to kind of climb the corporate ladder, learn as many administrative and operational and project management skills, which I'm still working on, that I can, so that one day I can go to an organization and be like, look, let me fix this, this, and this. I'm going to add all of this, and I have the passion for it. And we'll see when I get there. But right now I'm working for an organization that I wholeheartedly believe in. I'm really, really happy, genuinely happy in my day-to-day life. I'm using a lot of skills that I gained through LFS. And one day I'll pivot and get back into animals. But for now, I'm really happy doing what I'm doing, and I'm learning a lot, and just, yeah, climbing that ladder, hopefully.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for sharing your experience. It's wonderful to see there are so many different ways to get involved with animals, and so many different pathways to learn, and to whether it be like the hands-on practical work, or whether it be the advocacy that is so important for sustainable future, and like protecting our animals, protecting our environment. So whether it be, maybe you're not into animals, but maybe you love soil. So there's always so many different ways to, and so many different experiences that are so important that make up different stakeholders that are involved within that. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. It's lovely to see you doing so well after graduation.